BTS has finally returned. We've been waiting and watching for nearly 4 years, and today is that day, guys. The new album has been released and it includes exactly 14 tracks. And all of these songs are far beyond the BTS we knew and the K-pop we're used to. If you're ready, today we're going to talk about all the details of the album. As I mentioned in my previous videos, BTS had clearly stated that in this album they would return to the group's roots and bring their Korean identity back to the forefront. In fact, RM said about this topic that Koreanness is the most important keyword that keeps the 7 members together. But do you know what the most beautiful part of the album was? Instead of using cultural elements as they are, they reinterpreted them with their own modern style, and the result is truly legendary. First of all, let me start with Swim because it was the title track and they released a music video for it. When I first watched the video, what the group wanted to convey was so clear that I absolutely loved it. I mean, I watched it with hearts practically coming out of my eyes. Swim centers around the idea of continuing to move forward despite the hardships of life, and this actually reflects BTS's current state of mind. As Jimin also mentioned, with this song, the group wants to express their determination to keep moving forward without stopping. Because the constant pressure to be better brings a heavy burden along with it. Yet despite that, BTS chooses to keep going. In fact, if you noticed in the video, there were movements that sometimes looked like they were being carried away by the current and other times like they were resisting against it. And this visually completed the message of the song. The story in the music video is built around the longing that characters living in different times and places feel for one another. And those of you who have watched my videos know that Arirang, the song that gives the album its name, is actually about longing and reunion, so the music video had a much deeper meaning than just a typical love story. By the way, the music video was filmed in Lisbon, and this choice is not a coincidence either. Lisbon is a city that historically represents a point of transition and emotionally carries a sense of journey. This directly reflects the main theme of the video, because Swim is not just a love song but also a story about healing and growth. Looking at the album overall, there were many diverse and incredible songs. BTS did not hesitate to experiment with different genres in this project. In fact, the group members openly expressed this themselves. They said they wanted to try styles they had never experimented with before. The first parts of the album have a more high energy and hip-hop oriented structure. Tracks like HYBE and Hooligan clearly reflect this energy. In the later parts of the album, more emotional and introspective songs come to the forefront. Songs like Merry Go Round and Normal deal with the pressure of fame and internal conflicts. Towards the end of the album, a calmer and more emotional atmosphere dominates. Tracks like Please and One More Night slow down the tempo and offer the listener a different kind of experience. The Arirang album has essentially become a story that tells BTS's own journey and the transformation they have gone through. The group looks back at its past while also moving toward the future. Honestly, I can't wait to finish this video and listen to the album again. The group gathered in Los Angeles to write the songs for the album. During this process, they lived together, worked together, and shared memories from the past. In fact, Suga said, "This process reminded me of our trainee days." In a way, creating something together like this added emotional depth to the album, and you can truly feel that sincerity while listening. It's clear that the bond between the members grew even stronger during this time. RM says that he feels like his most natural self when he's with the members, while Jin mentions that their relationship has become even closer. Honestly, my favorite aspect of the album is that BTS tried something new. Let's be real, everyone had been waiting for them with huge excitement for 4 years. During this time, they could have chosen a safer path. They could have continued producing songs like before, easy to listen to, appealing to a wide audience, and likely to become radio hits. But with the Arirang album, the group did the exact opposite. When we look at it, this album is a project that takes risks. It has an experimental, emotional, and at times darker structure. These aren't exactly the kind of songs that easily turn into TikTok trends, dance challenges, or instant social media hits. And that shows that BTS doesn't make music just to be popular, but to express themselves. However, this doesn't change the fact that they came to shake up the entire industry. BTS's Arirang album surpassed 5 million pre-saves on Spotify, making it the first album by an Asian artist to achieve this milestone. It also became the only album in Spotify history after Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl to exceed 5 million pre-saves. After the album's release, the attention grew even more. According to Hanteo data, Arirang surpassed 1 million sales in less than 10 minutes, breaking yet another record. It became the fastest album in Hanteo history to reach 1 million sales. These were the records announced while I was preparing this video, and I'm sure I'll need to make a separate video just for the records alone, because as you know, they are BTS. Now, I'm praising the album here, but there is one point where they are currently being heavily criticized worldwide. That is the fact that Swim, the title track, is entirely in English. As you know, Blackpink's song Go was also fully in English, and they received a lot of criticism for that as well. Since BTS kept sharing statements about wanting to reflect their roots, many people expected all the songs on the album to follow the typical K-pop style, a mix of Korean and English. But the fact that some songs are completely in English has caused a bit of disappointment. Personally, I think they represented Korean culture very well throughout the entire album and this comeback, and it's completely normal for some songs to be designed to appeal to a more global audience. But overall, social media is quite upset about this right now, just to keep you informed. In fact, when I say they are introducing Korean culture, the song number 29 on the album is a perfect example of this. This track includes the actual recording of the Divine Bell of King Seong-duk, which is recognized as South Korea's national treasure number 29. This 1 minute and 38-second sound is placed right in the middle of the album, and honestly, I think it's an incredible detail. I'm not even sure if calling it a song is accurate, because this piece has no lyrics, no melody, no rhythm, nothing at all. In fact, people who listened to the album for the first time thought that this track was uploaded incorrectly or was broken. Even I, while listening, suddenly heard silence and immediately checked my phone wondering what was going on, but the track was still playing just with no sound. I thought my phone had malfunctioned. Then as I increased the volume, I realized there was actually a very faint sound in the background. When I looked it up later, I learned that this was an intentional detail. This sound was designed to symbolize the transition from the intense energy of the first half of the album to the more emotional and introspective second half. In other words, it's like telling the listener, take a deep breath, relax, because after this moment, with the title track, Swim, we are moving into a completely different side of the album. It was such a well thought out detail. If you are also confused like me while listening to this track and didn't understand what was happening, write what is going on here in the comments. Let's see how many of you had the same reaction as I did. Also, if you remember, in my previous video I said that this comeback reminded me of a quote by Kim Gu, one of the most important leaders in Korea's independence movement, and I shared one of his quotes. In the track Aliens on the album, there is a line that says, "Excuse me, Kim Gu teacher, could you tell me how you feel?" That coincidence made me so happy. When I heard that part while listening to the song, it brought a huge smile to my face. This album was truly awaited with great anticipation by the entire world. The music industry, the media, and even the economy were closely following this comeback. One of the clearest examples of this was the rapid rise in HYBE stock after the album's release. During the 4-year period when BTS was on hiatus, the company experienced a significant decline in profit. So we can say that BTS came back and lifted HYBE up once again. As you know, BTS's highly anticipated concert is happening tomorrow. Right now, I'm following every post and story from people in Seoul with a mix of jealousy, envy, and excitement, and even the atmosphere in the city reflects how massive this comeback is. The streets are decorated with BTS and ARMY-themed banners, 3D videos are playing on billboards, hotels are completely full, and fans from all over the world have flooded into Seoul just to experience this moment. Some fans even traveled to the city without having concert tickets just to be part of the atmosphere. I'm sure we're going to witness something legendary tomorrow, and I'm incredibly excited about it. Don't forget, it will be broadcast on Netflix tomorrow at 2 p.m. Then you can come back and watch my video. By the way, happy Eid to all of you. I kiss the cheeks of the younger ones and the hands of the elders. I love you all so much. It really feels like we're celebrating a double holiday today. Now I'm going to share this video and head out for holiday visits. So take very good care of yourselves. Goodbye.